So if you are preparing for the big tech company interview and still not getting the offer, let me tell you one truth. It is not at all your fault because the company how they hire now changed drastically. And most of the people are preparing like in 2020. You are like they are in 2020 and they are preparing like 2020. Hey, about me, I'm Vijay Bhatta. So I have 14 plus year of experience. So after completing my research work at IIT, so I started my software career. Now I'm working as a tech lead in one of the product-based companies. So in this video, I'm going to tell you or show you what exactly changed and why it is burning out the people and what exactly working right now. Because grinding 600 problems and getting rejection from the man level company, it is not a fault. It is a strategy problem, right? So here is the reality which nobody is talking about. So let me talk about in 2022, you can just memorize 150 questions, understand some of the patterns and go to the interview as confident as you are. So that process was working in 2022 because the market was not so much saturated and people were not so much frauded. But three things have changed, right? So nobody is understanding these 3 points. So until you understand these 3 points, you can keep on preparing for next 6 months or 1 year. You will also again going to hit that same wall again. So now we are going to talk about the shift number 1. AI changed everything. So now we are going to talk about shift number 1. AI changed what exactly the interviewer are testing. The first big shift is AI exists now. Companies know that you have that access to that particular AI tool. So they stop caring about whether you know some algorithm or not. For example, binary search, if you know or not, that is not important for them. Rather, they test under pressure whether you can think about a new problem, explain your reasoning very clearly, and in case there is any adoption, right? So let's say they are looking for more optimized algorithm, they give you feedback, whether you are able to adapt that particular situation quickly. In short, the interview process moved from a memorizing first to a thinking first method. So if you are someone who is memorizing the solutions or memorizing the different approach without really understanding them, then definitely you are going to freeze in the interview. If that twisted the question a bit. So earlier interview process was all about whether you are able to recall the algorithm, you are able to grind the algorithm, you are able to write the code about that particular algorithm. But new process is about whether you are thinking clearly, are you coming up with the proper reasoning, are you able to effectively communicate with your interviewer? That's the shift is happening. So make sure whenever you are practicing the problem, so you are thinking loud, you are explaining also, right? So not like that you are silently just got the question and just coded it, submitted it in the lead code and just it got passed all the test case. No, that's how it should not work now. Also, after solving a problem, just think about, right? So why the constants are given in such a manner? If there is any change in the constant, do you think you will be able to solve that? Try to put that particular extra 1 minute effort. Just think about the different constants which are available and what happens if we modify the constant. The second step, right? So which is happening right now. Companies are playing safe now. So companies are very careful about their particular hiring. So after mass layoff has happened in 2023, 2024, 2022, the companies has reduced their workforce or the team size a bit, right? Which means they're very selective about now hiring the people now they are doing. So they are just not checking whether you are able to code it or not. They are checking, are you going to be right fit to the team? Are you going to handle the pressure? Are you going to improve your environment? So the bar just not only gone higher, it also gone wider, right? Meaning now they are focusing also in your behavioral question, right? For example, you need to make sure that you are preparing for that. For example, let's say how you have handled the pressure, or if you have a conflict with your manager, or there is a disagreement between you and manager. So what happened during that particular time, right? Or you have a different thought, your manager have a different thought, or your colleague have a different thought, how you handle that situation. So there are a lot of behavioral questions so they are asking now. So make sure that you are practicing that. So if you are a software engineer, want to crack the product-based company, you can just go ahead and book a one-to-one call with me, which is absolutely free, and we can create a personalized roadmap for you. Okay, so far we talked about the 2 problems, so that is you are going to handle, but that is one aspect of this particular problem. So even if you adopt the 2 problems that we discussed, but still you can be burned out due to one other reason. So now we are going to talk about the third shift, which is the market is saturated, right? So that is what we are going to talk about. So this is the one of the hardest reality. For now, a single role, there are more competent people who are competing for that particular single role than compared to 2 to 3 years. Right? Before 2 to 3 years, there were less number of people due to this layoff and all. So now the competition has become very high. And this is exactly how a lot of people, right, so are thinking that they are getting bought out. So they are putting a lot of effort, so they are solving a lot of problems, they are doing also mastering system design, but still when they go for the interview, they are not selected. That is, they are thinking that, okay, there is something wrong with me or I am not preparing well. So here, just effort is not going to be enough. So you need to be visible and strategize your preparation. So first point here, what you can do, you can look for the referral, right? So obviously you can apply on the different platforms like Naukri, LinkedIn, Indeed, or whatever you want to apply. But at the same time, make sure that you are getting referrals, right? So you reach out to the people to refer yourself, right? So that is going to be stand out your resume from a lot of thousands of application is coming for the same role. And second thing, what you can do, you can little bit tailor your or customize your resume based on the position whatever you are applying. Let's say you are applying for the 10 company, and if it is really you are interested in the 10 company, make sure that you have a right fit resume is building little bit modification based on their requirement and putting that resume into their portal, right? So that's how this getting a interview call is going to be higher. Now we are going to talk about the fourth shift, which is the final shift that is really happening in this particular world, which is the knowing the AI. So in 2026, AI is not have a nice to have feature, right? So you cannot say that, okay, it will be good if I learn AI. It is kind of like becoming a mandatory skills for the engineers, because the engineers who know this particular AI, how to use different tools like Cursor and a lot of other tools, right? So they are actually producing 10x faster result than the engineers who are not knowing the AI or they are reluctant to adopt AI. So if you want to stay relevant, if you want to stay competitive, right? So in this particular era, so make sure that you are using the AI and make sure that you are using AI as your assistant and you are staying ahead in this particular game. So since you understand that, let me tell you or the summarize what exactly is working now, right? So it is not about the preparing like old way or grinding a lot of lead code problems. It is all about preparing smarter, right? First of all, so you need to improve in your technical thinking ability and explanation skills. Then we need to work on our AI. We need to make sure that we are adapting to the AI, right? And third thing, what we are going to do is that, so definitely you are going to work on the first skill, which is the technical ability or the technical thinking, right? And the communication skill, right? So that is going to be non-negotiable at this time. But second thing, at that same time, so you need to be behavioral ready also, right? Means you need to be ready for the behavioral round and make sure that you are making ready for that. Then you are working also the strategic on the visibility part, right? Like resume building and all, making a tailored resume and all these things you are working on. And the fourth thing is that you are adapting with the AI. And the good news is that you can really master all these things if you are spending 90 minutes per day for next, let's say next 3 to 4 months, right? You can really master this and you can crack it your own product. And if you are a software engineer who want to crack the product-based company interview, just go ahead and book a one-to-one call with me where we'll create a personalized roadmap for you. And if you're someone who is already working as the full-time job, if you need a guide how to be prepared for the top tier 1 product-based company interview, I have created also a small video here. You can go ahead and watch this.